How does it drive? Really, my Haval H6 is now at 2,000 kilometers on the clock. I've been using the car day in, day out. I've been driving it a lot. And today I thought that I'm going to check in with you to highlight some of my further impressions from ownership and driving the vehicle. Specifically, how does it drive? I would like to also inadvertently answer one borderline trollish question that I got a couple of times. It wasn't a question, it was like a statement in my comments that you need to be aware of if you're not reading every comment down there, which is fine. Somebody asserted a couple of times on a couple of different occasions that apparently Haval H6 drives like crap, and I'm quoting here, it drives like crap, apparently. Well, is it true? Well, of course, I'm an interested party here, and of course I'm an owner of Haval, so one would say, well, Dmitry, you would only justify the fact that it doesn't drive like crap. Well, I'll try to be as objective as possible and compare it to some of my previous experience to make it a little bit informative for you, other than just me basically responding to trolls in this particular case. Either way, I'm very much hopeful that this would be somewhat entertaining and or informative. If it is, give me as usual a like and subscribe for more unpretentious videos from me. Alright, let's jump straight into this and address the elephant in the room straight away. No, at 2,000 kilometers of day in, day out use of this car and having driven sufficient amount of other cars, not just Chinese cars, and some of the other Chinese cars, including MG HS, including MG ZST, including Jeep Wrangler, including LDVD90, other kind of stuff in not so recent past, I can tell you that Haval H6 drives like a dream. It doesn't drive like crap, and anyone who says that either is trolling or has not driven this car and therefore is trolling, essentially, because I cannot humanly imagine that you wishing well and trying to be not a troll in my comments can basically roll in on your high horse and say to me and to my audience that that car over there drives like crap. I simply cannot imagine that being humanly possible if you are meaning well, wishing well, and not trolling. So I hope we got this out of the way. We don't need to continue harping on about it. So right now, taking it further and making it a bit more practical, I suppose, as an advice for my audience, for people who are researching Haval H6 in Australia, especially on Australian roads, perhaps a little bit of tuning by GWM for Australia, maybe that matters a little bit. So take it all as these my usual unpretentious insights coming from an owner. Okay, so more specifically, dual clutch transmission is something that is, I think, the most impactful thing to how the drive in the car feels, other than perhaps suspension, but we will talk about suspension separately, tuning of the suspension as well. So, dual clutch transmission, as you know, I was not a fan in MG HS. In MG HS, I believe that either the tuning or the quality of the transmission or some other factors, maybe I was not lucky, I don't know, you name it, you talk to me in the comments down below if you have theories and opinions on this. Dual clutch transmission was borderline, horrible is a bad and very strong term, so I apologize in advance if it triggers some sensitive flowers out there. I am not a fan of MG HS dual clutch transmission implementation and or tuning that they've done for Australia. So I disliked it, circumstances changed in my life, I needed to change a car, and my impressions and my discontent with the dual clutch transmission in MG HS made me make that choice relatively easily and relatively quickly. Through trial and error, some financial losses that come naturally when you buy and resell a car. So yes, if you ask me, Dmitry, do you wish that you wouldn't have sold and resold all these cars and straight away went to, let's say, Haval H6? I would have said to you, yes, you're right. I wish I didn't make all these changes, and that's what I wish for you. Make a decision and try and make sure that it sticks. It's like with a marriage. You don't want to get remarried. It's a massively tedious, emotionally and financially exercise. I'm talking from the experience here. Same with the cars, all right? So we don't want to change our cars very often, hence is why advice like this, unpretentious advice from a real owner, is important. That's why your test drive is critical, and nothing replaces a real test drive. My advice is nothing compared to how you feel driving a car like that before you commit to buying one. But with this, a little bit of a sidestep, but it's a contextual sidestep that is related to the overall conversation. I hope you understand. MG HS gave me a taste of what a bad / horrible drive DCT dual clutch transmission feels like. Now, Haval H6 has a dual clutch transmission as well. Also China-made from a different manufacturer, mind you, but still it's a DCT. Now, this is what I would call a dual clutch transmission that's tuned well, that is actually working very, very well, should feel like, and should be costed like with the rest of the car and stuff. So it's within, considering the size of the car, considering the relative luxury, I still believe that this is a massive, massive value for money. So here the DCT is the thing that impacts your drive so very much so. Is tuned really, really well. I really enjoy how it feels. It really doesn't drive like crap, my troll non-friends. So that is something for you if you're still looking to buy this car and some of a similar type of narrative, similar type of commentary, that kind of negativity somehow spilled onto you. Maybe you saw it in my comments, even though I try to mute those people just to not let them spoil this little party that we're having here. We're not oblivious to the shortfalls and you get what you pay for situation with MG and with Haval. We never are. But I don't want these people to deter you from considering buying these cars. Haval H6, Haval Julian, for example, simply because for some reason they woke up in a bad mood. I honestly don't know. It seems like I'm still trying to find the reasons why these people are so negative towards these cars. But I'm checking in with you that at 2,000 kilometers on the clock, I do not, genuinely do not, hand on heart, believe that the car drives badly. Specifically, one example, DCT feels so much better than an MG HS. So much better, it's not even funny. If you have driven DCT, for example, in MG HS, and somehow were thinking that you are not going to pick Haval because it also has DCT, please understand. There is DCT, and then there is DCT, okay? You need to try it out. This one feels very, 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 very different, okay? That's the first thing. Secondly, how the engine behaves, how the power behaves in the car, and how do you feel in terms of the, I suppose, the ratio of the vehicle mass versus the power of the engine, yeah? That also, I'm sure you would agree, that is something that probably impacts the quality and how you feel in terms of, is the drive good, is the drive not so good, okay? So in this particular case, it's a 5-seater SUV vehicle. It sits higher, you do feel it a little bit like, well, certainly doesn't handle like a sports car on the turns, but what do you expect? It's a higher seating SUV vehicle. It never was supposed to, and I'm okay with it personally. I don't know. You need to just keep yourself in check, I suppose, in terms of what you expect from any vehicle of that type of how it's sitting on the road, basically. Yeah, that's again a slight side note, but very related. But the engine of 2-liter turbocharged petrol engine in this particular car, and it's not an all-wheel drive model, it's a front-wheel drive model only. I believe personally that the size, mass, and the power that I feel under my foot on accelerator from this 2-liter engine, it feels just right. I do not expect it to accelerate faster, I do not expect it to accelerate slower, I do not feel like the car doesn't have enough punch behind it, behind the engine when I go uphill. I think that it's just right. In all honesty, I drive it all the time, I still continue comparing it to MG ZST that my wife has and we have in the family. I drive MG ZST all the time as well, like a run around town car, because this one is often sitting in the garage for us during the week, and MG ZST is parked right outside. So if I need to pop out to, I don't know, supermarket or office works or something like that, I all the time take MG ZST. So I have my comparison very much in check. So trust me, I'm still very much an MG owner. But I can tell you that every time I get back into Haval, every time I am like, that is comfortable, that is budget version of luxury, that is satisfying my needs, and it drives very, very, very nicely. That is what I genuinely feel, and I hope that this little check-in with you from a slightly different perspective as well. I feel like I've been talking to you lately over the couple of past videos from behind the camera, and this is a chance for us to check in on camera once again, and you see my beautiful car back there as well. I feel like it was necessary for me to both address those trollish comments in case one of them pops up and you notice it and you're like, maybe these people have a point. Look, from my humble opinion, I always assume at first that people mean well, but then I'm gonna call out, and I'm never leaving those kind of trollish comments that have no, they're not founded by anything. I don't even know what those people theoretically would be comparing the drive in this car to, in order to say it handles like crap, it drives like crap, blah blah blah. In general, though, that kind of commentary doesn't resonate with me. And if you are considering a purchase of Haval, or perhaps you were not considering a purchase because somebody said the same thing to you, please, my friend, be smarter. Be smarter than that. Go for a test drive and just take my word for it. It is better than you think. That is my humble opinion. This is a quick check-in at 2,000 kilometers on my ownership of Haval H6. Still very much enjoying the car. Still fantastic value for money. Really excited about what GWM is doing in Australia in the coming months. If you haven't seen my short, very first impressions kind of preview of what they are talking on their website, GWM Australia, about Tank brand launch. They are launching Tank 300 in Australia, which is going to be freaking amazing as well. I am nowhere near the financial situation to right now exchange my car to Tank, in case, so running a little bit ahead of myself, and in case you're wondering, oh Dimitri, is that what you're going to do? Probably, but not soon. Not soon. It's simply because I will not be able to afford it. But my eyes are very firmly peeled on Tank launch in Australia. So please stay tuned. I've been in touch with my friends from Sutton's Homebush, and they don't have Tank 300 in stock in Australia just yet. At the moment of recording of this video, of course, in case you're watching this months later, perhaps it already has happened. But please stay tuned, because I absolutely will be taking a very close look at Tank. I will be taking a close look. I will be taking it for a test drive in very serious consideration for purchasing later, maybe a year later, perhaps when I have consolidated my finances and feel a bit better about that. Anyway, these are all updates, kind of dumped it on you, my friends, today on this slightly cloudy Sydney morning. Hopefully you enjoyed this slightly different format. I always appreciate my non-troll friends who give me likes, who support this growth of this channel, and who subscribe for more unpretentious videos from me. If you have specific requests, if you want me to observe, report on something Haval or MG related, please let me know. Raise awareness, talk to me in the comments down below. That is your best way to get in touch with me. Otherwise, thank you very much for tuning in today. Have a great day, night, whatever, morning, wherever you are there in the world. And I'll be speaking with you again about something Haval or MG related sometime soon, next week. We're still releasing videos at least at a pace of 1 video per week. Thanks again. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.